Hey Hamster, check it out! Shadow of the Colossus is free on PS Plus this month. You mean the HD remake that just came out in 2018? Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about this game. We've gotta play it! Lucky it showed up here for us to play for free. I was thinking of buying it just a couple of months ago. This is so great! This game is trash. Underdeveloped, unplayable, trash. Now come on, you gotta give it a fair analysis here. People give this game overwhelmingly positive reviews. The open world is barren and lifeless. The gameplay is straight out of Goat Simulator. The bland music is hardly perceptible. The story shows a complete lack of effort on all counts. And the graphics, which should have been the focus of a game remade in 2018, look washed out and ported from the PS2 era. We must be missing something. At least Goat Simulator was funny. You're dropped into an open world with a sword that can point you towards your next destination, as well as stab things. It's also fairly useful at stabbing things. But that open world is entirely void of any real interactions whatsoever. There are no NPCs, enemies, side quests, or anything even remotely interesting to find. It only serves as an extremely slow loading bar. You'll point your sword skyward to help direct you towards the next Colossus to defeat. However, the actual directions are usually confusing, sometimes wrong, and always wonky. You'll fumble your way around climbing with horrible jumping and stamina mechanics without any tutorials teaching you how the game works, wishing so badly that this played even halfway as well as Uncharted. The game doesn't even tell you that you also have a bow, which your character isn't even holding, by the way, and you need the bow as early as the second Colossus. Most of the traversing in this game is done on horseback, and I hate to say this too, but this is by far the worst controlling horse in any game I've ever played. Your unresponsive mare is named Agro, pronounced Aro for some reason, which you'll be hearing a lot as you'll be yelling for the dumb animal to come to you constantly. The atrocious camera positioning system is desperately trying to make everything cinematic, which instead is obscuring crucial things you're trying to see, like the direction you're galloping, or in what direction you're about to jump. It feels like this game thinks it's some magnificent, beautiful vista of glowing splendor, and you must acknowledge it. But by trying too hard, it just makes it come across like a demanding, grossly obese teenager who insists on being told she's pretty. But the meat of the game is in fighting the Colossi, right? Well, if you can believe it, they are what make this complete show a true masterclass pain in the can you say that? Your character, the Wanderer, plays with the physics of Goat Simulator. And I'm not saying that as an exaggerated insult. That's honestly the closest comparison I can make of it to any other game. Goat Simulator works because its god-awful controls and ragdoll physics were funny. But when your straight-faced game plays just as terribly, it's just sad. Each Colossus has some poorly scripted and cryptic single method of dealing damage to them. You'll either be fighting the garbage ragdoll controls trying to get something obvious and simple accomplished, or you're fumbling around for what feels like an eternity just trying to figure out the elaborate checklist of events necessary to progress the fight. You'll want to walk through for this game for sure. The less time spent playing it, the better. So compared to the original, this version looks great. Yes, but the new shots were all edited in post with harsh contrast and vignetting to try and make the new versions look better. That, my friends, is called false advertising. I did find some of the locations shown off in the supposed screenshots and was pretty let down by how washed out and gray everything actually looked. The actual designs of the Colossi themselves kinda disappointed me too. They all pretty much look the same. I swear that several of them are exactly the same, as I fought like 3 gorillas and 2 identical lion things. The Wanderer's face is so early 2000s PC game. He looks just like a default avatar who's not reacting to the light correctly, he's awkwardly smooth, and he has no facial textures. The most visually pleasing part of this game was the uninstallation screen. This game shoehorns in what little story it has at the very end after beating literally all of the Colossi. And even then, it's practically nothing at all. You turn into some weird demon thing from the released spirits of the beasts you killed and fight off some weird shaman people. Then the dead and or sleeping girl you left on the altar from the beginning comes back to life Zelda 2 style. Also, your stupid horse somehow comes back to life after falling down into a ravine and comes back with only a broken leg. Which, by the way, do you realize what a broken leg means for something as large as a horse? They can't freaking move, like at all. Out of the rest of the game, your only real dialogue comes from some voice in the sky telling you about your next Colossus to fight. However, it's always the same Mad Libs text written in papyrus. It starts with, "Thy next foe is," then cuts to something ignoring any grammar or syntax before ending with, "It lusts for destruction. Thy next foe is 6 hours after a Chipotle burrito. It lusts for destruction." There pretty much is no music until you're practically hanging by your tongue onto a Colossus's ballsack, and even then, it's underwhelming at best. The only real sound you'll repeatedly hear is the Wanderer yelling for Aro! I keep wanting to adjust my volume to hear the music, but then when I hear the guy yell, Aro! I realize that my volume really is on, but this game is just really freaking quiet. In the bad way. Don't think of Breath of the Wild. There's nothing elegant about this steamy pile of goat s***. Aro! If you've played the original Shadow of Colossus, then you should probably know to stay far away from this one too. I'll be frank, I have absolutely nothing good to say about this borderline unplayable waste of time. The most telling moment in this game for me was looking at the percentages of players who acquired trophies for defeating the Colossus. It became a record showing exactly when players got fed up with the game and quit. On PS4, nearly half of all the players stopped after the first Colossus. Only about 30% made it halfway, and only a pitiful 17% had the tenacity to finish this game. So take it from a guy who completed this game for your own amusement, all the way up to the super frustrating Flaming Finger Gun's final boss straight out of Sailor Moon. Don't be in that 17%. The positive gamer in me was let down to a colossal degree with Shadow of the Colossus, giving it a gross 3 out of 10. This is the rare game that's so terrible on all counts that the only thing that would make it even remotely impressive is if it were made by just a single person in a week, or created in 30 minutes as an experiment. But no, they were dead serious. And so am I, with a 3. The critical gamer in me is still nursing the stress headache from playing this disgusting stain on the industry, and gives this monstrous failure the 1 out of 10 it justly deserves. There is no joy in Shadow of the Colossus, only frustration, terrible ragdoll controls and physics, a nauseating camera, an unresponsive horse, constant, cryptic, directionless encounters, and a story as unsatisfying as a tall glass of your own urine. Hey, at least you didn't give it a 0, right? It is still an executable file run on a game system, so it technically needs to be able to rank. Believe me, rounding up from that 0 brought me great pain. But what do you think? Are you caught up in the strange delusion that this game is even remotely enjoyable? Or does the thought of this game instigate a migraine? Tell us how your positive and critical sides rate Shadow of the Colossus in the comments below. If you blindly praise a game just because that's the popular thing to say, then you're just playing with yourself. Mother d***er. Special thanks to my good friend Matt for actually giving me the PS Plus account to begin with so I can even play games like this. And of course, thanks to all the great Patreon members for their support. Thank you so much to Atomic Thomas, Ben, Sid, Denny, Erica, Kai, Patrick, Pyro Joe, Rowan, and Squad Fam. The rest of you guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the videos and subscribe for more. And what was it exactly you were saying that whole time, Hamster, that we were bleeping out? They are what make this complete split show a true masterclass pain in the grass. Your character, the Wanderer, plays with the physics of ducking Goat Simulator. There's nothing elegant about this steamy pile of goat spit. Then you're just playing with yourself. Mother ducker. Quack!